Mr. Howard, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Amidits,
Here.
Mrs. Buckley,
Here.
Mr. Christensen,
Here.
Mrs. Cook,
Here.
Mrs. Dovis,
Here.
Mr. Means,
Present.
Mrs. Roll,
Here.
Mr. Spikuza, Mr. Workmeister. Here. We have 8 members present this evening.
Thank you. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I have some under personnel,
Yes, ma'am.
to amend, number 10 under personnel, to say retirement is effective August 31st, 2016. To add item 15, approval of staffing changes. Item 16, approval of the 2016-17 salaries for administrative groups. And item 17, approval of 2016-17 salaries for non-administrative groups.
Any other additions or corrections to the agenda? I need a motion to adopt the agenda as corrected.
So moved.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries 8-0. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 24th, 2016, and the business meeting of June 21st, 2016.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries 8-0. I need to announce executive sessions held June 8th, 2016 for personnel, other legal matters, and to receive information. June 21st, 2016 for personnel, other legal matters, and to receive information. And June 28th, 2016 for personnel, other legal matters, and to receive information. Staff report and Ms. O'Rourke.
This is the final good news report for the 2015-16 school year, and I'm happy to report that we still have lots of good news to share with you this evening. Congratulations to the 372 graduates of the Bethel Park High School class of 2016 who graduated on Saturday, June 4th. This year, 182 students graduated with honors, meaning that they had a QPA of 3.5 or higher. This year's class included 71 members of the National Honor Society, 4 National Merit Scholars, and 5 National Merit Commended students. The class of 2016 earned more than $4.4 million worth of scholarships. Congratulations to all of this year's graduates for leaving a positive impression on Bethel Park, and best wishes for the future. The Allegheny Intermediate Unit's Center for Creativity awarded Independence Middle School a $20,000 grant from the Grable Foundation, the Claude Worthington Benedum Foundation, and the Chevron Corporation. The grant will be used at Independence Middle School to invigorate STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math learning processes by requiring students in all academic areas to solve real-world problems with emerging engineering solutions. Specifically, the grant will be used to transform underutilized areas in the school's library into flexible and equipped instructional spaces to be called Still City Collaboratory and Creation Station, 2 of the 4 STEAM areas to be created throughout the school. This is the second year a Bethel Park school received this grant. If you recall, last year the high school received this grant to create 3 STEAM innovation studios at the high school. Bethel Park High School seniors were recognized for outstanding academic achievement at the annual Awards and Recognition Program. Several local scholarships and awards were presented to the students. Additionally, honor cords were distributed to the 182 students who would graduate with honors, high honors, and highest honors. It was a great evening to celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2016. Photos and a complete list of awardees are available on the high school's latest news page. 14 Bethel Park High School students were inducted into the Quill and Scroll, the International Honor Society for High School Journalists, at the ceremony held on May 23rd. Students who were inducted are staff members of the school's newspaper, yearbook, and video production studio and have excelled in communications work during the past school year. This year's inductees included juniors Natalie thank you, Mr. Johns, Rachel McLean, Molly McDowell, Jacob Marcavecchio, Phoebe Nurim, and Joanna White, as well as sophomores Kara Bruno, Noah Gearhart, Tessa Helfner, Ty Miller, Madison Seifert, Graydon Tomkowitz, Haley Radcliffe, and Bailey Sims. Congratulations to all of these students for their outstanding work. 4 Bethel Park High School students who attend the Still Center for Career and Technical Education were inducted into the National Technical Honor Society. Inducted this year were Cheyenne Ovsanka, Brian Pietropalo, Austin Stefan, and Mara Tomko. The National Technical Honor Society honors the achievements of top technical education students, provides scholarships to encourage the pursuit of higher education, and cultivates excellence in today's highly competitive, skilled workforce. Congratulations to these 4 students. 2 Bethel Park High School seniors received the Outstanding Senior Award from the Still Center for Career and Technical Education for the work they did in their respective programs. Receiving the awards were Santino D'Alessandro and Cheyenne Ovsanko, who were honored at the ceremony that was held at Still Center. The Rotary Club of Bethel Park named Bethel Park High School senior Alexis Taylor as its May Student of the Month. Each month, the Rotary Club recognizes a Bethel Park High School student for outstanding commitment to school and/or community. Before graduating, Alexis was a member of the National Honor Society, the Principal's Advisory Council for Students at Bethel Park High School. Additionally, she was active with the Student Government Association and was secretary for STAND, Standing Together Against Negativity and Discrimination. She volunteered with Middle School Campus Life and taught Vacation Bible School. Congratulations, Alexis. Several Bethel Park High School students earned awards for high scores at the National French Exam. 2 students, Joseph Bilski and Janelle Wu, earned gold medals for scoring in the 95th percentile on the French 2 exam. Earning silver medals for scoring in the 94th to 85th percentile were Sholomonte Soku, Kayla Armstrong, Casey Mack, Adrian Slater, Ryan Cook, Rachel Grant, Madison Newman, and Cameron Silman. Bronze medals were earned by Jacob Opie, Haley Radcliffe, Kira Teagarden, Roman Dodowski, Cameron Carroll, Morgan Saunders, Connor Heath, Vanessa Vargo, and Kara Wentz for scoring between 84th and the 75th percentile. Congratulations to all of these students. A group of Bethel Park High School German students competed against 20 teams of high school German students across the country, Canada, and Mexico in the Gutar Institute's Fantasy Soccer League, and the Bethel Park team finished in 3rd place. From November through May, the students used their German skills to answer questions about specific soccer matchups from the German Professional Soccer League and make predictions. For finishing in 3rd place, they received an authentic Hertha Berlin soccer jersey signed by U.S. men's national team player John Brooks and a certificate. Participating in the BPHS team were Ryan Faub, Julia Angati, Jen Clara, Jonathan Lucetti, Ethan Tabler, Brendan Troche, Evan Ehrenholt, Tyler Kreider, Sonia Heberstreet, Justin Hollerick, Holly Troche, Vincent Vecchio, and Evan Walsh. Bethel Park High School spring sports teams and athletes had great seasons. Our boys volleyball team won the section championship for the 6th consecutive year, played in the WPIA championship game, and advanced to the state quarterfinals. The baseball team won the section championship and competed in the WPIAL playoffs. The girls lacrosse team advanced to the WPIAL semifinals. Also qualifying for the WPIAL playoffs were the boys lacrosse, softball, and boys tennis teams. 13 boys and 10 girls qualified for the WPIAL individual track championships. Congratulations to all of our athletes on successful seasons. One of the highlights of the school year at Independence Middle School is the 8th grade awards assembly, where students are given awards for academics, athletics, leadership, and service. Their names can be found on the IMS Latest News webpage. Congratulations to all of these students and best wishes to all of our 8th graders as they begin their high school careers in the fall. Independence Middle School 7th and 8th graders were also honored at the annual Academic Excellence Awards program. This year, 119 7th graders and 146 8th graders received distinguished honors for maintaining a minimum 3.75 QPA through the first 9 weeks of the 2015-16 school year. Additionally, Presidential Academic Awards were presented to the 78 8th graders who maintained a minimum 3.5 QPA from 7th grade through the first 9 weeks of the 2015-16 school year and scored advanced on either their PSSA, reading, or math test. You can see all of their names on the IMS Latest News webpage. Congratulations to 7th grader Caitlin Sams, who finished in 2nd place in the finals of the Mathematics Council of Western Pennsylvania's algebra contest, held at Derry High School. Caitlin competed against the top students from Allegheny, Beaver, Butler, Lawrence, Indiana, Westmoreland, and Armstrong counties. As you may recall from a previous report, Caitlin qualified for the finals by winning the Allegheny County Championship. Way to go, Caitlin. The Allegheny Intermediate Unit filmed a promotional video for its Kindles in Education program at the William Penn Elementary School Library, starring several William Penn 2nd grade students who demonstrated on how they use Kindles in the library to learn. The lesson they demonstrated was one designed by librarian Melina Popovic, that taught students how to use QR readers to learn more about the parts of nonfiction text in preparation for the PSSA exams. Penn was the recipient of Classroom Set of Kindles a few years ago from the Pittsburgh Penguins Foundation, and representatives from the Allegheny Intermediate Unit and the Penguins Foundation will travel across the country to show the video and give presentations about the success of the Kindles in Education grant program. Lincoln students celebrated another successful accelerated reader program with an annual AR Carnival held at the school's playground. The students were able to celebrate reading more than 69 million words, taking almost 14,500 AR tests, and earning almost 12,800 points by participating in several fun carnival games. Congratulations to the 258 students who met their accelerated reader goals, and thanks to the Lincoln staff who worked very hard to make this carnival a much anticipated Lincoln event. 12 Washington Elementary School 4th graders were selected to participate in a fun rain barrel painting project coordinated by librarian Rebecca Manella and art teacher Amy Minter. The students learned about the importance of water conservation and how rain barrels help recycle water to be used for watering plants. Interested students were able to submit original drawings that, if selected, they could paint on a rain barrel during their lunch periods. They did a fantastic job. 50 of our elementary gifted students gained an awareness of the needs of others, as well as the importance of contributing and giving back to the community by participating in the community service project of their choosing. The students were given some suggestions by gifted program coordinator Lisa Yost, and then they had to submit a written proposal for what they would like to do. Once they received approval, they carried out their project and were required to summarize their experience by creating a video, slideshow, or document that included why, where, when, and how pictures, which they submitted digitally through Google Classroom. Some of the projects included participating in community cleanup events, doing something at a nursing home, collecting winter coats, and donating hair to Locks of Love. Congratulations to Independence Middle School German teacher Michael Stang, who was selected as the recipient of the American Association of Teachers of German quadrille stipend to attend classes at Heidelberg University this summer to enhance his ability to teach German as a foreign language. He will study in Germany from August 1st to the 26th. And that concludes my report for this evening, as well as the 2015-16 school year.
Thank you so much. And I know student government is out. Do we have any PTA, PTO council? Gone for the summer. Solicitors report.
A written report has been distributed to the board for your review.
Thank you. No committee reports. Public comments on any agenda items this evening. Seeing none, we'll move into business items. Curriculum Committee and Mrs. Buckley.
Thank you, Mrs. Cook. There are 5 items this evening under curriculum. Would any like any held out? Hearing none, I move number 1, professional development, 2, independent studies, 3, purchase of Think Through math software, 4, purchase of high school social studies books, and 5, acceptance of foreign exchange student.
Second.
Thank you. Items 1 through 4 under Curriculum Committee have been moved by Mrs. Buckley and seconded by Mr.
1 through 5.
1 through 5, I'm sorry. I typed 1 through 5 and said 1 through 4, sorry. Items 1 through 5 under Curriculum Committee have been moved by Mrs. Buckley and seconded by Mr. Means. Any questions or comments on any of these items? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those carry 8-0. Personnel Committee and Mrs. Rule.
There are 17 items under personnel. Are there any that anyone would like to have held out?
I'd like number 15 held out.
15 held out? Any others? I move that we approve items 1 through 14, 16, and 17 under personnel. They are approval of substitutes, approval of extra duty responsibility program, attainment of status of professional employee, appointment of board treasurer, approval of tuition reimbursement, approval to extend leave of absence, involuntary transfers, change of assignment, acceptance of resignation, approval of administration tuition reimbursement, amendment of retirement date, approval of leave of absence, ratification of the Bethel Park Federation of Teachers contract extension, approval of 2016-17 salaries for administrative groups, and 17 approval of 2016-17 salaries for non-administrative groups.
And we missed 4, appointment of board secretary. So we'll add that because you had that in your, just when you were reading, I think we missed that one.
Okay.
And so we have 1 through 14 and 16 and 17. I need a second on that motion.
Second.
Items 1 through 14 and 16 and 17 under Personnel Committee have been moved by Mrs. Rule and seconded by Mrs. Buckley. Any questions or comments on any of these items?
I have a question. 17, what group is that actually? Is that the approval of the 2016-17 salaries for non-administrative groups?
We make up, confidential secretaries and some other folks that aren't part of different bargaining unit or not part of the Act 93.
Okay, I thought that's what it was. I just wanted to make sure.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those items carry 8-0. Mrs. Rule.
Okay, approval of staffing changes, item 15.
Second.
Give me a second. Okay, item 15 has been moved by Mrs. Rule and seconded by Mr. Means. Any questions or comments on this item?
Yes, I have, this is closing the library secretary position at the high school, and I'm just not sure how the duties and responsibilities for that position will be distributed among the staff and so forth. So I think it's too soon to close that position at this time.
Any other questions or comments on this item? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That item carries 7-1. Facilities and Services Committee, Mr. Means, would you take that for me this evening?
Okay, there are 2 items under Facilities and Services Committee. Would anybody like either of them withheld? Seeing none, I move that number 1, installation of the drain lines at Benjamin Franklin Elementary School, and number 2, carpet for Benjamin Franklin Elementary School be passed.
Second.
Items 1 and 2 under Facilities and Services have been moved by Mr. Means and seconded by Mr. Christensen. Any questions or comments on either of these items? I'm not real pleased with them, but all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Those items carry 8-0. Finance Committee and Mr. Amidits.
Yeah, we have 18 items this evening under the Finance Committee. I move items number 1 through, or first of all, did anybody want any of these held out? Hearing none, I move items number 1 through 18. Number 1 being the June 2016 salaries and bills. Number 2 being the bill list for the July. Number 3, the May 2016 financial report. Number 4, establishment of the tax rates. Number 5, 2016-2017 general fund budget. Number 6, the homestead and farmstead exclusion resolution. Number 7, approval of depositories. Number 8, the renewal of insurance policies. Number 9, post-June 30th, 2016 budget transfers. Number 10, approval of student service contracts. Number 11, appointment of school physicians. Number 12, waterfront learning services agreement through the Allegheny Intermediary Unit. Number 13, Kennedy School of Driving. Number 14, approval of Steel Center for Career and Technical Education operating budget. Number 15, the approval of the Steel Center for Career and Technical Education administrative budget. Number 16, items declared unused and unnecessary. Number 17, approval of the purchase of information technology equipment and software. And number 18, the furniture purchase for the STEAM lab at Independence Middle School.
Second.
Items 1 through 18 under Finance Committee have been moved by Mr. Amidits and seconded by Mr. Christensen. Any questions or comments on any of these items? I'll just make a comment that if this passes, this is the first time in my 13 years on the board, and I believe Mrs. Rule will say her 20 years on the board that we have a 0 mil tax increase. Did we look that up and find when the last time that may have occurred in our district? Didn't find that out for us? Okay. It was prior to my time and prior to 20 years anyway. Any other questions or comments on these items? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those carry 8-0. Other, Mrs. Dobus, would you take other for me this evening?
There are 2 items in other. Anybody want either of those 2 items held out? Okay, then I move the selection of the voting delegate for the PSBA Delegate Assembly meeting, which would be our appointment of Connie Rule, and the 2016-2017 school calendar revision, reflecting the change of making May 16th, the election day, a no school day.
Second.
Items 1 and 2 under other have been moved by Mrs. Dobus and seconded by Mr. Amidits. Any questions or comments on either of these items? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those items carry 8-0. Public comments on anything you wish to address the board on. Hi. And thank you as always for
Certainly, I have a
sending us the
minor
email.
edit that I'll forward these to you when I'm, tomorrow or this evening. As you know, my name is Joe Johns, and I live at 2699 Bethel Crest Drive. Also, as you know, I've been to just about every school board meeting since October 27th to request that you consider raising the pay of our coaches to equitable, current, and competitive rates. Additionally, other members of the community have stood here to make this same request to you at other board meetings. This request was heard the loudest at the May 17th board meeting when the football program got involved on behalf of their coach and all other Bethel Park sports programs. Athletics are a valued aspect of our community, and proper consideration should be afforded to them as such. Please know we respect your commitment to our school district. We do believe your heart is in the right place and realize that you are volunteers and receive no compensation for your considerable efforts to do what you think is best for our school district as a whole. With that said, we believe your priorities on this issue are misplaced. Your decision to protect the taxpayer, although inevitably impossible, rather than support our coaches, affects our student athletes. The tax increase necessary to fairly compensate our coaches is justified and palatable for our taxpayers, as the amount of additional funds necessary to achieve equitable, current, and competitive coaches' salaries is a rounding error on our $80 million budget. Our coaches work with approximately 40% of our students. By providing discipline, guidance, and support, our coaches play a significant role in our student athletes' ability to succeed on their playing fields and in the classroom, as the average grade point average for our varsity athletes is 3.75. These life lessons transition to their success later in life. With the one-year contract extension approved, you have time to consider and address the inequity and insufficiency of the current coaches' pay scale. As negotiations with the union continue, I ask that you reconsider your position to the appropriate tax increase so that our athletic programs are given the appropriate resources that are consistent with the resources allocated to academics and facilities and are what athletics rightly deserve. This will best serve our district in the long term. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice summer.
You also.
Thank you.
See you in August.
Anyone else? I'll move into board comments. Mr. Amonitz, I think I might be down at your end.
First of all, I just want to say that I believe that this is how the democracy works, and I appreciate your approach to this. You've been coming up, you've been saying what you feel, and again, although you may not be getting the end result of what you like, I just appreciate how you're approaching it. Your concern is obvious, and I'm listening to it and taking into consideration, and what comes up in negotiations will come up, but I just appreciate how you're coming up here, and I wanted to say that. I also wanted to thank all the administrators and everybody for working on the budget, all the teachers throughout the year for getting things done, and for the contact extension for everything. So we had a lot of work going on together with everybody. So I appreciate everybody working together, and I hope everybody has a good summer.
Thank you. Mr. Christensen.
Good. I was just going to comment also, Joe, I think we had talked and encouraged you to come on this crusade, okay, every month, but it's definitely, it's not getting ignored, but the thing that's impressed me or surprised me since coming on the board a year ago is that it's a complex process with all the contracts and the budget and all that stuff, and everything you're saying is being heard, okay? So it's not being ignored, it's just because of the complexity, it's a slow process, okay? So.
Mr. Workmeister.
Okay, I hate to be redundant, but what was being said is basically my feelings too. First, addressing your, what Gary says, crusade. It is something that should be done, democracy at its best, and it is very complex. Sitting here, being new, so I may not know all the facts, but I have listened quite well, and I know that it's not just a simple matter from we can act on emotion and say, oh yeah, everybody's worth the money, even more, but we have to weigh out a lot of things, and there's not enough time to discuss it right here. So right now, at this point, I think it's good for you to keep coming, and we are doing as much as we can. Also, I'd like to say real quick that being for the first time on the board, I got to sit there for graduation. It was a very honorable and fulfilling. I don't know the right word. I'm an engineer, so I don't have good words to. I'm not good with my words, but nonetheless, it was very enlightening and very nice. I loved it, and it was nice watching all the kids. And that goes to all the teachers, administration, the school board, everything else to help make Bethel Park a #1 district in my mind. My son's looking for a house, and actually a school district is very important right now, believe it or not, even though I don't know if he's going to have kids. But the point being is the school district is important, and we have to make sure everybody as a community works well and all that together. And finally, I didn't have a lot to do with it, a little bit being here on the board for the first time, but having a zero budget increase or a zero tax increase is, I think, a big feat. Looking at the papers and how everybody's going up, like Upper St. Clair is 1 point some mills, and it seems to be the easy way out. And you got a lot of elderly there that are really struggling, and we have to weigh out everything on this. So I'm happy to say that congratulations for everybody. I'm done.
Thank you. Mrs. Rule.
Joe, you're my neighbor. I'll see him on the street. I'm glad he keeps coming, though. Just want to say that I am happy about a no tax increase. It has been at least 20 since I've been on. I came on the board when we were $2 million in debt and had to raise taxes a lot the following year to make up. And those were the days when you could do it without any government regulations. Today, we couldn't do that. We'd be under government watch real quick. So I'm really pleased that we are in the position that we're in, given how many other school districts aren't. The other thing is, I did attend Steel Center's meeting this month, and they are projecting about 775 students. We'll know come probably the end of September what the number will be, but that's a little larger than they've had. So their student body is increasing, and they're offering more and more opportunities to our students as we go forward. Also, the Allegheny Intermediate Unit, I went to their meeting last night, and they had staff recognition night in which they honored a few individuals that worked in the various agencies under their direction. And also, they shared with us there are 2 new policies that are coming out from the federal government, one governing grants, so there'll be some changes with that, and one governing vendor in any agreements and things we would have, any conflict of interest. So the federal government now is giving you some more new guidelines.
Imagine that.
Other than that, that's it.
Thank you. Mrs. Buckley.
Thank you, Mrs. Cook. I'd like to mention again some of the things that were brought up during Ms. O'Rourke's staff report. On June the 1st, the awards and recognition program that was held at the high school and the academic excellence held at the middle school on June 2nd. It's just so rewarding to sit there and listen to all of the things that the children have accomplished. And obviously, it's a team effort with all the people involved. And then, of course, graduation was a very special day as well. And just as another comment, Mr. Johns, thank you for being so respectful. That's very much appreciated. And I do think you understand that we represent the taxpayers of Bethel Park, and just looking at the staff report, you see what a variety of projects there are and programs that must be supported by tax dollars. So I respect your opinion and what you're looking for, but if we did what everybody wanted, then their taxpayers would be very unhappy. So we're trying to do our best. We study it very carefully, and we are listening to your comments, so thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Means.
I would like to congratulate all the students that were singled out for their achievements today. And I would also like to point out that there's almost 14,000 households in Bethel Park, and we only have about 4,600 students. So the vast majority of the taxpayers in Bethel Park don't even have students in the school. So we have to consider everybody, that what's best for the students, what's best for the taxpayers, and kind of balance everything. And it is it's like trying to balance a house of cards, really, and keep everybody happy. I would like to congratulate the taxpayers for one of the few times in a long time we have a teacher's agreement, so there will be no teacher strike, and we have a budget that's going through with no tax increase, and the taxpayers are the real winners in all that.
Thank you. Mrs. Davis.
I voted for the no tax increase also, and I understand how important that is. I did so with some reservations. We have a lot of things in the future that we have to consider. We have several contracts that we're working on. We've got several new initiatives. Ever since I've come on the board 2.5 years ago, people have talked about not balancing the budget using capital reserves, which we did use them this year to balance it. So I think it's fabulous that we have done this, or that the administration has figured out a way to do it, and I congratulate them on it. I am just a little bit, I'm very cautious about it. For example, Mr. Johns is here every time talking about the coaches' increases also. So there are lots of things, but you know, we'll give it our best shot and try to do the best we can with it, and continue to make decisions, and have a great summer, everybody.
Thank you. I'd like to read a letter, or portions of a letter that Dr. Pasquarella and I received. Dear Dr. Pasquarella and the school board members, I will no longer be available as a substitute teacher for your district because I am moving out of the area. Before I leave, I wanted to tell you what a wonderful experience I have had working for the Bethel Park School District. I graduated from Edinboro State College in 1973, and I taught for 20 years in the parochial schools in Blair and Clearfield counties. In 2014, I moved to the South Hills and subbed exclusively for your district. I am so impressed with the scholastic atmosphere combined with respect and discipline that I found at Bethel Park. The principals, teachers, secretaries, paras, and staff have been so friendly and very helpful. The students, K through 12, reflect this atmosphere and show respect back to the staff and their peers. This has not been my experience during the 12 years when I subbed at the 5 other public school districts. The teachers in your district collaborate with each other, and the students seem very happy. Each of your 8 buildings feels very welcoming and safe. Educators and parents in the Bethel Park community must value education and work together to provide such a wonderful array of subjects and activities. Sadly, this is not always present in so very many other Pennsylvania communities. Bethel Park schools exhibit many private school qualities. I will certainly miss teaching in such a fine school district. It's one thing to provide quality education, but hard to also have a feeling of being family, safety, and contentment. I commend you on such an outstanding job educating the youth of the area. Added to that, I'd like to send my thanks to Bill Wells and his team, to Dr. Pasquarella and his team for allowing us to begin the 2016-17 school year on a positive note, with a 0 meal tax increase and a teacher contract extension, allowing us all to concentrate on our most important job, educating the students of the Bethel Park School District. Have a great summer, everyone. Thanks for all you do. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone. Thanks, Joe.